Okay. I think we're right.
We're going?
I think we're good. We are.
Welcome back, brothers.
Welcome back.
We're in the barrow dance tonight. Little change of scenery.
See, we have got the fire in here, so there's that.
Which is nice.
That's nice.
A nice touch. Which is where I am now, keeping the coffee warm.
Yeah. Gang right. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Christ is risen.
He's risen indeed. And it's been a blast.
It's been a blast. Been a busy blast.
Yeah, it has. So we've not just actually, we're halfway through the week after Bright Week, which is the week after Holy Week, after Easter, and
fun week.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun
Feast
week. Yeah, exactly.
Feasting all week.
But we had a great Holy Week.
Oh, sugar.
We had a great Holy Week. Services every day.
Yeah.
I made most of them. You were all of them. We had, the healing service with Holy Unction.
Yeah.
The Lamentations.
Yeah. Passion Gospels.
The Passion Gospels.
Man, then I'll say the procession with the shrouds, then the Lamentations, then the Paschal midnight service.
Yeah.
That whole cycle.
And it reminds me of something that Father said, who he's just been here actually, not long left. He came around for a chat. But he said in one of his homilies a few weeks back that we give the body a lot of rest, which is what we're doing now, kind of.
Yeah.
We're having a smoke, we're having a talk, we're having a drink. But when the body's at rest, the soul is at unease.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, but there's a tension. And we need to remember to give the soul rest too.
Yeah.
And the soul takes its rest in the church life and scriptures. And it really, like in Holy Week when you're at church every night and the services are long, and in an Orthodox service you stood up, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound like a lot, but try being stood up for 3 hours in like two and a half.
It's a stretch, man. It's a stretch.
And you can feel that your body is like wanting to sit down, goof off.
Yeah.
But you can feel that your soul is being nourished.
It's loving it.
Yeah.
And it kind of clicks into gear a little bit. Like when you first walk through the door, and it's like because it's part of the cherubic hymn, the part of the service where we're starting to kind of we're describing and supporting what's going on up in heaven during the blessing of the gifts before the anaphora, and we say it feels sometimes like I almost literally leave it at the door. All the stuff that I've had during the week at work, all the stuff that I've had that's been going on, with home life or family life, it just gets checked in at the door with the iron.
Yeah.
And you are spiritually solely focused on the contents of the service. This is the work, the Laos Turgos, right? The liturgy, the work of the people.
Public work, yeah.
So it's work. It's work. We're not. If you can feel it in your body a little bit, but it's nourishment, man. You said it.
Yeah.
It's a really spiritually nourishing activity to undertake. Yes. So before I get stuck in, we got some buff on the go.
We've got some Buffalo Trace. Hello, Anthony.
Yeah. And we've got, now I'm not going to overlook this because this is not just your regular cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Our Harry, is a big proponent of cowboy coffee.
I'm a big proponent of cowboy coffee, so I mean,
I'm pointing, so this is important now.
Now, moving on to coffee, I've kind of moved around. I tend to move around on what I like to do. A lot of the time, I go back to the French press. It's a classic. It's hard to mess up.
Yeah.
Sometimes what I like to do is I like to go to a mocha pot. I did get an espresso pump.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
To pull.
Yeah, it's a manual.
That's right.
So you have to pull the shot.
Yeah.
I was doing that for a while. Now, it just so happened that I really wanted some coffee at work, and what I had to hand was water and a pan
Yeah.
and a hot plate.
Yeah.
And the coffee, obviously. And I didn't have a French press, and I was looking at ways to make coffee with that setup. And I came
Well,
cowboy coffee, which is basically you get water in a pan, you add your grounds while it's cold, you bring it up to just not quite a rolling boil, but you let what they call it call a bloom, where you see that like the ring kind of bubble up through the coffee grounds, and then you drop the heat. You let it infuse. I think 4 minutes is good.
Which is interesting because it's the same 4 minutes that I would leave a press in.
Exactly. Yeah.
So 2 minutes to brew, 2 minutes to settle.
Right.
But settle being the word.
Exactly, because during that time, and I found it's not necessary. It's not strictly necessary, but it will help just to you pour in like a small ring of cold water. It helps the grounds drop, and then you just pour off the liquor, and you'll be left with the grounds. And I just find that it's just such a rich, full extraction.
I don't mind telling you. So this is Colombian.
Colombian, yeah, it's the sun-dried Colombian.
I don't mind telling you that is an absolutely fabulous
cup of
coffee. That is so good. So good. So we got that. We got some buff on the go.
Yep.
What's in the bowl?
What's in the bowl?
We're back.
We're back.
Yeah.
We're back on Old Faithful.
Yeah.
Bourbon Flake #1. Cornell and Deals.
#1 for a reason.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Glory to God. He's not let us down. We've been through Lent. We've been through the darkness. We've gone through the fast.
Now we're feasting.
We're feasting down, man. Yeah.
We've got Red Virginias.
Yeah.
We've got Dark Burley.
Yeah.
We've got Perique.
That Dark Fight Kentucky Burley.
Yeah.
Oh my good God Almighty.
And that's
God
what I'm talking
bless
about.
it. This is the stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
It's just, I've not got anything else in there tonight. I'm just going stock standard, straight out of the jar.
Because as you guys know, if you like long-time listeners, you know that typically I like to put a bit of Pennsylvania Maduro leaf in there. But just lately I've not been doing that. I've just been enjoying as intended.
Chocolatey.
Yeah.
We've got a little bit of spice and interest with that Perique. That C&D Perique.
Yeah.
There's something about that C&D Perique. And I've got Perique and other stuff. Got a very nice Covent Blend cabbage mix. Very nice. Perfectly enjoyable. Something about the C&D.
Yeah.
Type of Perique. I don't know what they do to it. I don't know what genus or species of Perique they're growing out there and what they're doing with it. But it's a magic leaf.
Well, as far as I know, Perique comes from St. James Parish in Louisiana.
The St. James, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's changed. I don't know if you can get production, but I think it's like a champagne kind of situation.
Yeah,
that's the region.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still the case, but I know that, for example, if you buy a tin of Cajun cake, it explicitly says Louisiana Perique.
Yes, it does. It does.
Because
Cajun cake's nice.
Apparently, again, someone might correct me if this is wrong, but the Native Americans were making Perique by fermenting tobacco inside of tree trunks. That's how they were making it. Yeah, I believe it is Burley that's fermented, or Virginia.
Would make sense, wouldn't it, around that region?
Yeah.
So it'd be like close to home, it'd be in abundance.
Yeah.
It grows there anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it just comes out with this
it's so good.
rich, fruity, spicy. Yeah. Sometimes it's even got a bit of fish sauce.
I hear you. Yeah.
Sometimes it's got a bit of fish sauce.
I was thinking, not quite vinegar, but like a a bit of like vinaigrette. Like a balsamic vinaigrette a little bit. Only like a little.
There's some anchovies in there. I like my anchovies. I like my anchovies.
It's the boy. So God bless you. Good old
Gentown.
And we've got on.
Yeah.
We've got Omega. Good to see you. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you, brother.
And we've got Highland Duncan.
Oh, Duncan. Thanks for joining us.
Also joining us.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong place.
And let's pull you over so we can have a look. We've got evening guys sitting here after finishing the Battle of the Penarrow Fields chapter.
Oh, brother, that's a great chapter. That's
so good.
One of my favourite parts from the whole trilogy is in there, and I can't quote it verbatim, but it's basically Eomer is looking out on the field, and it's like, he's a prince of a fallen people, and he's looking at how poorly the battle is going for them at that moment, and like he says, he raises his sword to the sky in defiance.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
the hypest moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's the prince of a fallen people. Everything's going wrong.
Yeah.
He's seen his men dying. What does he do? He raises his sword.
And they're like kind of Saxons. They're kind of us, aren't they?
They are Saxons.
They're kind of
yeah.
Okay. It's like with the weaponry, like Theoden's sword is a seax.
Yeah.
Of the seax.
Right.
Saxons. Yeah. Like Saxon blade.
And I think
so
like if you had to boil down what it means to be a man in one image, that it's looking out on how bad everything is going and raising your sword in defiance anyway.
Yeah. Look to my coming on the third
day.
day.
On the third day, look to the east. Yeah.
There you go. That's the move, man. It's so good. Yeah. So we're back at it. We've got we've had a bit of film stuff to go into tonight. So we've started to take a look again after having looked at Dogville that we did time before last, I think. We decided to go and stick with the A24 vibe. Although not specifically an A24 film, but it's got a same kind of ingredients, similar kind of ingredients. But we've gone for Under the Silver Lake.
Yeah. Well, I believe that was actually A24.
Oh, is it?
It was distributed by A24.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, like as we both looked into, it was kind of all but disavowed.
Yes, it was disavowed. Yeah.
By A24, not publicly, not officially, but the way in which they kind of refused to market it, refused to very limited release kind of stuff. It was almost like they were trying to sweep it under the rug, forget about it. They just didn't know what to do with it.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Well, we'll come on to that as a critical drink. Believe that.
Yeah. So we're talking about Under the Silver Lake, 2018, starring Andrew Garfield in the leading role, and also Riley Keough, I believe it's pronounced Keough, Elvis Presley's granddaughter.
Yeah.
In a small but important role.
Sydney
Sweeney was in it briefly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a bit of a cameo, yeah.
But like before, she was like massive, so not really. But a little role she's got in that.
Because she's really popped off recently.
Right.
So
thanks, man. Interesting premise.
Yeah, weird premise.
But kind of weird being the sort of the operative word, because just from a sort of top down perspective, right? The story, I mean, it's got all the kind of ingredients of like a noir. It reminded me a lot of sort of a Lynchian,
which is why I've gone for this soundtrack tonight.
Good shout. So it's got kind of it's got Twin Peaks kind of vibes a little, you know. But it, unlike that, which is like intentionally surrealist and non-linear and I'm trying to think of a better word than goofy, but like, you know what I mean, like really highbrow goofy.
Yeah.
This doesn't really do that. There is almost a linearity to it, but a line that kind of doesn't really resolve anywhere. These are like parallel lines that never really meet. Converging lines that never really meet.
Yeah.
And so there's an interesting story, but there's lots of like kind of subplots to it.
Yeah. And
no sort of major resolution as such.
Right. So the main, and we're going to go into spoilers, obviously. The main premise of the film is that you've got this guy. He's a bit of a loner, bit of an outsider, a bit of a fringe type. No real strong relationships with anyone. Lives alone. He's a bit of a weirdo. He tends to spy on other people in his apartment complex. Anyway, one particular evening, he's kind of like rear window spying on Elvis Presley's granddaughter.
Yeah.
She's in this apartment complex. They end up chatting later that night. She invites him in. They get to talking. Then a bunch of people show up. Two more women and one guy. She says it's time for you to go. The following day, she has left without a trace. The apartment is completely empty.
Sorry, man. So this guy's a bit of a shagger, isn't he? He doesn't mind sort of going from port to port,
right?
A little bit.
Yeah, Yeah, like despite having nothing like on the surface going for him, he just seems to get a lot of play.
Yeah.
Apart from looking like Andrew Garfield. I guess. So, and then the rest of the film is about him trying to find it. Like he becomes instantly obsessed with finding it, and we find out kind of through the course of the story that he was already sort of like conspiratorially minded.
Yeah.
And it's just about what happens during the course of that investigation.
Yeah. And that, in terms of sort of conspiratorially minded, he's drawing lots of sort of conclusions from bits of things that he's found, clues. There's lots of kind of intrigue, something that means something. Or he's reading him, he's listening to the music backwards.
Yeah,
and he's plotting out, overlaying maps with stuff from cardboard, cereal boxes, all that kind of stuff. But that, just kind of coming back very slightly to the again to a sort of a top-down look, was that this film is there's a lot of callback to sort of popular culture at large. So like, there's some stuff on there on there's lots of stuff on music that comes through later. There's a whole bit about that. But even the sort of the film references, it's kind of very, very referential to eras of films.
Yeah, exactly.
Hitchcock.
You've got
Kubrick.
A lot of golden age Hollywood stuff.
Right.
Like his mum is really into, what was it, Janet Gaynor?
That's right.
He's got all these movie posters.
Yeah.
We know he's obsessed with Kurt Cobain. He's got a stack of Nintendo Power magazines, which turns out to be
part of it.
Pivotal later in the film. But
then the whole thing with music, there's a whole section where they kind of illustrate the point that they're trying to make, that there's kind of there's a convergence point where all these things are basically intersecting.
Yeah.
So film and TV and music and magazines and books and all the kind of sort of popular culture stuff really has, in this sense, literally in the music sense, it all comes from one source.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really, in the sense of the film, it's one character, and this guy sits down who he's been looking for, and he's been using like these codes, and he's worked out where this guy is, and manages to find him, the songwriter. And this guy goes from playing Beethoven's Ninth to Smells Like Teen Spirit to Don't Look Back in Anger to like
I Want to Know What Love Is.
I Want to Know What Love Is. Yeah, that's it. Like all these different, and it's seamless, right? It's very, very cleverly done.
Exactly, yeah. Like he's playing this melody of like all the classics, and
he's horrible.
This guy is obnoxious. Yeah, he's made to look physically like older than a person should be able to grow old. Yeah, and he's contemptuous. Yeah, and he's contemptuous of his own work.
Yeah.
Because maybe we're jumping a little bit ahead, but music is important to this as well, because like one of the subplots is this band everyone's playing the song, and he even goes to one of the performances on a party that he kind of inexplicably gets an invite to, because he's kind of this bum, but he's showing up at the LA elite parties, and they're called Jesus and the Brides of Dracula. And so there's this one guy who's kind of like aping Jesus with this religious kind of imagery. And then you've got like, the sacred and the profane with the Brides of Dracula, these three women, and they have this single called Turning Teeth, and that turns out to be one of the codes in the film that it turns out that this songwriter wrote.
That's right. It's one of the few songs on the album that they didn't write.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
the one that made all the money.
Yeah. So that is that's one of the pivotal scenes in the film. But and
then there's the thing with this is what I mean about Twin Peaks. Like lots of different threads. Yeah. And you think like, oh, they're all gonna kind of come together at some point. They never really do they?
No.
But one of the interesting bits, I'm because I can tell I'm reading Lovecraft, because I only ever see like everything's Lovecraft for me at the minute, everything. But there was definitely a thing when we come on to the dog killer. So, and again, not going down the Lovecraft rabbit hole for now, but like we're going about it from a looking at it through the lens of popular culture, like the kind of the Manson family stuff.
Yeah.
Like the kind of the like the serial unalivers kind of thing.
And funny that you bring that up, because I think there is a shared vibe between Under the Silver Lake and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like this sense of being in the middle of
Yeah.
all the Hollywood stuff,
And
and
it's surrounding it.
and how
and it's weird,
and it's dark and it's twisted.
But it's also kind of amorphous. It's everywhere you look,
Mm.
and how everything's connected, but nothing's connected.
Yeah.
There's no resolution. There's no progression out of it.
Exactly.
There's no getting worse or getting better. It just is.
And I don't know if you're noticing this in the same way that I'm noticing this right now, but it's actually hard to speak in a structural way about this film.
We're all over the place because the film's all over the place.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's really kind of what it's getting at. It's like it is a bit of a mess in terms of the way that it's produced, and there's no sort of clear linearity to it.
No.
There's just lots of points that it's trying to make without it having sort of a traditional 3-act storyline. But yeah, so coming back a little bit to the stuff with the Manson family and but in this case the dog killer, right? And there's kind of heavy references that the guy he's also kind of looking for him. He carries dog biscuits around with him. He said, "Oh, it's from it's because my ex-girlfriend had a dog biscuit." Look at Harry tamping down with a bolt. What a hero! What a hero! This boy, he's brewing coffee with a saucepan at work, and he's tamping down his backy with a bolt. I tell you what, man.
I'm regressing.
This boy is adapting, overcoming. So good. You can keep on working tomorrow.
Thank you.
So that's kind of a thread that's sort of pulled throughout the film. And what's kind of weird is he's got a smell to him. He gets zapped by a skunk.
Yeah.
But even before he gets zapped by a skunk, he says to his missus, like somebody says, "Oh, it smells in here. What's that smell?"
And he's always talking about there's a lot of skunks in his still.
yeah.
So, and I think that like we both said that smell that everyone's picking up on him it's probably his sense of guilt for being the dog killer.
Yeah.
But also this kind of thing that's following him as an outsider, as a conspiracy kind of schizo dude kind of thing.
Yeah. Someone's kind of wearing a skin suit kind of thing. It's something else.
Yeah. And the funny thing like that we picked up on as well about this is that not once in the film is he actually named. We know from the script that his name is supposed to be Sam, but he's never given a name. He's just this kind of drifting non-entity.
Nobody refers to him as Sam.
No.
Nobody. Let's have a quick check-in. We got you fellas voting next Thursday. Next Thursday? Ooh. Maybe?
I didn't even know.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh, it might be that they're not in our patch yet.
Oh, okay.
They might not be on our patch yet because it's local and regional stuff, I think.
Right.
And ours might be next year. I think I'll have to check that. I've not seen any ballot stuff come through, so that's a maybe. What are we smoking tonight? We've got Burley Flake number 1, absolute stone cold classic. It's back in stock.
Yeah.
I'll not move the mic. It's back in stock at Four Noggins.
Yeah.
And man, it's like just walking back. It's like coming back home, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's so good. Twin Peaks more the series. Yeah, more the series than Fire Walk with Me. Yeah, man, it's so good. It's so good. If you like the series, man, you'll love this. You'll love it.
Yeah, I love Twin Peaks, and I like Lynch as an. I hate to use this word, auteur.
Yeah.
But I loved Lynch. I was really sad to see him go. But I think if you're into Lynch's work, you are gonna like Under the Silver Lake for sure.
Definitely.
And it's David Robert Mitchell was the director, and he also did in 2014 It Follows, which it was a horror film, and it was quite unique. In the sense that the premise was that you were being stalked by this monster that can take the form of whoever's sort of in the vicinity, and the monster very slowly but relentlessly pursues you until it gets you. But this monster, its target on you is passed on through relations.
Right.
So the person that you have relations with,
Yeah.
they get it. Kind of like in a Ring sense, where if
Yeah.
you watch the video, it goes on to you.
Mm.
But if you know,
Which is kind of wild because there's little bits of threads in that as well. As like he's quite promiscuous.
yeah,
And his kind of stink is picked up by all these girls that have kind of been with him.
that's right. Because now you mention it, it's always girls that point it out.
Yeah.
It's always women that point it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, follow on from that sort of spiritual follow on. I think you'd like if you liked Twin Peaks, man, you really dig it. You really dig it. Yeah.
But maybe if we jump to the end, we can kind of backfill.
Yeah.
So basically, it turns out that when he comes to the end of his investigation, he finds out that because we find out through the course of the film that this local kind of celebrity has died in a car crash. Now, it turns out that he did not die in a car crash, but as part of the rich Hollywood elite, what he has done is he's joined this cult, and he had enough money to prepare this underground burial, which he is going to be inside this essentially pyramid that's buried under tons of concrete with 3 women, one of whom is the woman that he's looking for.
Yeah.
And they're going to be in there, and they're going to live in there for 6 months until the food runs out, and then they're going to ascend. And he finds this out because he tracks down the next group of 4 who are going to do this. He tracks down, so he ends up.
Yeah, that's right.
He ends up finding their little ashram,
like a shack,
shack in the mountains in California.
Isn't it right near the Hollywood Hills? It's like
I think so. Yeah,
the Hollywood side.
Yeah.
And that had got like all big, like definitely not a cult related to sort of science
exactly
vibe,
yeah,
right? But it got a big callback on that.
Yeah, big time. And I think in a way that was sort of prefigured by the Jesus and the Brides of Dracula, like the man, the enlightened man, and the 3 women.
Yeah.
And so they get her on call, and they say that we can make in calls, but out calls are not allowed because in the past we've had trouble with some of these women trying to get out.
Yeah.
So he makes a call to her, and one of the first things he tells her, "I've been looking for you," and the first thing that she says is, "You barely know me."
Yeah.
And she says, "Do you think I made a mistake?" And he says, "I think probably, yeah." And she's like, "Well, I better make the most of it now." So like all this effort, this 1 hour and 40 minutes of effort, has amounted to nothing.
Yeah.
She didn't care. She doesn't want to be rescued.
No.
It was all in his head.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So and because of that, there's no kind of real resolution or payoff.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, where does he end up? He ends up virtually in the. Oh, he's getting evicted.
Yeah,
he can't pay his rent because he doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he hasn't got a job. Like, he's got all this stuff, but yet somehow he never does anything. Does he? It's not like I'm a frustrated writer and I'm a playwright, or I'm I write music and I'm just not in work. I'm resting, right? I don't want to rest. I'm resting. I'm here and I'm resting, right? There's nothing. It's nothing. There's kind of calls to when he's out and about with, and then there's maybe like a bit of a sly nod at the journalist class. Like they don't really do anything. Because one of them is there's like a story or a subplot where he keeps seeing journalists at these parties, and they all talk to him like he's one of them. He's like, "Oh, who are you working for at the minute? What are you covering?" All these kind of things, thinking that he's a bit of a journalist. Is that because like they don't do anything? They just bum around and like just parasitize off others. Yeah. So there's maybe a little bit of that to it. But like right at the very end, he's lost. He does eventually. He doesn't keep his house. He doesn't keep his flat. He gets evicted.
Yeah.
But where does he end up? in the flat opposite.
Yeah,
with this
with the
crusty
parrot
old
lady,
with
yeah.
the crusty old parrot lady.
Mm.
Who we've been gurning over already.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of, yes, he's ended up back in the same place, but just a little bit worse. It's like it's never really going to resolve. I thought that was kind of an interesting, if like unsatisfactory ending, but intentionally unsatisfactory. You know, like there wasn't ever intended to be a payoff. There wasn't ever intended to be a resolution of any of the sort of bits of story. Ultimately, it's all just fruitless.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it all amounted to nothing. Yeah.
You know, like the kind of amorphous, ephemeral pop culture that's been erected in this pit,
exactly,
right underneath the Hollywood Hills. That it's here today and gone tomorrow, and then tomorrow there'll be something different.
Yeah,
something will take its place.
I mean, one of the pivotal scenes of the film, which is what we already spoke about just previously, is where he tracks down the songwriter who wrote this hit song that Jesus and the Brides of Dracula are singing. And this guy is really, he's like, I've written what your granddaddy was listening to, what your dad was listening to, what you were rebelling to at 15. I wrote that.
Yeah.
He's speaking really contemptuously about his own work, and he even says that it's ephemeral. It blows away like a tissue.
Yeah.
And he says, I smells like Teen Spirit. I wrote this between a snow job and an omelette. Yeah. I blow my nose. I find the dirty Kleenex, and there's a song.
Yeah.
And he's speaking, and that is what sends him over the edge.
Yeah.
The fact that Smells Like Teen Spirit was written by this.
Yeah. And then he kind of starts smashing stuff up.
Yeah.
Like Nirvana smashing the stage up.
He
like,
takes
even
Kurt
that is
Cobain's
scripted.
guitar.
Yeah, and smashes it.
Yeah.
Like he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's a great. So it's all like that. There's like lots of little callbacks, like and then like enactments, like reenactment. It's almost like kind of LARPing around the Hollywood culture.
Yeah.
He's kind of reenacting these little things. It's all very analogous, and it really very, very interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a film like it.
No,
in the sense
it's very
that,
unique.
It is. Not in the sense that I've never seen a film that's like surreal. It's got surreality in it, but it's not a surreal film.
No.
I've seen like lots of noir films that don't kind of really resolve, but it's not like that either.
No.
It really is kind of its own thing.
Mm.
I think some people are going to watch it, probably not a million miles away, and like, "This is
hated it.
This is crap.
Yeah,
this is what is this film?" Because as a medium, as a form of entertainment, it doesn't really do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
So how do you kind of feel about it at the end? It's like it's going to be dependent on how you've got invested throughout that. It's just over 2 hours, isn't it?
I think it's probably I
think it's just over.
Mm.
So how are you gonna find it?
Mm.
It depends on what you've picked up throughout the film, and I think it is one of those that for me, you're going to get something different out of it every time you watch it. That's always a good sign of a good film for me.
Yeah,
stands up to a good number of rewatches.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it kind of demands if you're one of the people that got something from it,
I've got to find out. I've got to know.
Exactly. it like demands a rewatch, if not multiple.
Yeah. I thought it was just an excellent film. A really interesting premise. Never seen one like it. It's weird that it's just been jettisoned. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to acknowledge it. It's not really kind of anywhere. I couldn't even really. Did manage to find it to rent, but there's not really anywhere to buy it for. I need to get it on Blu-ray. You can't really get it.
It's kind of tough to.
It is. It's not. So that's kind of even what it's almost like the guy's like, I need to know. I need to find out. How do I get this thing? You've got your own little point and click quest to go and find something. Right. Okay. Well, I'll go to that site and then get a download link, and I'll maybe go over there. I've written it, but I need to buy it. I need to own it. Yeah. It's good, man. It's very, very clever. Some really clever stuff. Regardless of what I think of the guy, I've got to say Garfield turns in a pretty decent performance.
Great performance, yeah.
And I don't think he'd have been massive at that time. And obviously he's done the Spider-Man film, so he's recognisable. Yeah. So he's pretty much a household name, but not like a colossal A-lister at that time. And probably he is now, you might want to say. He's been in lots of stuff since. And he has had, I remember he did a film called 99 Homes.
Oh, yeah.
with Michael Shannon.
Oh yeah, I like Michael Shannon.
About he was very good, and it was about what happened after the mortgage-backed security crisis, 2008, and the big crash, stock market crash, and like repossessing all these houses. It's kind of bleak, but it's very well made and quite clever. So he's kind of got history with doing these kind of more sort of artier, on the arty end of the Hollywood. I mean, still, you go to the cinema and see it. It's not like completely underground.
Yeah.
But it's a bit of a sort of a crossover film.
I see him as a bit like Robert Pattinson in that way. Like
A
Robert
little
Pattinson
bit, yeah.
made his name as Edward Cullen.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you listen to him in interviews, he's not particularly proud of that.
But he hates it.
Yeah. But what he's gone on to do, he's put out some bangers.
He's done some good stuff.
Good Times, Lighthouse.
Yeah. King.
Yeah, The King. Yeah, he was great as the Dauphin.
Yeah.
Speaking of Michael Shannon, have you seen Take Shelter?
No.
That's a great film. It's Michael Shannon. He's a family man, construction worker, sort of like living in the Midwest kind of place. And he starts to have these dreams that this biblical storm is going to hit.
Yeah.
And no one else kind of gets it.
Yeah.
And he starts like building a shelter, and that's worth a watch. And
sounds good.
There's another film that he was in. Tom Ford.
Yeah.
He directed it. It's called
Okay.
Nocturnal Animals. I think it was based on a book.
Oh, I've not seen it, but I've heard it referenced.
That's Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
And Amy Adams.
Okay.
So Amy Adams is kind of the main character, and she divorced Jake Gyllenhaal's character in a pretty heinous kind of way.
Yeah.
And now she's married to the successful guy. He was a struggling writer. Now he's doing well for himself. Anyway, he sends her the manuscript for his novel that he's going to put out. It's like, I want you to read it first. And it's this horrible story that you kind of see in it. Two narratives play out, like what's happening in the present.
Yeah.
And she's reading the novel, and the novel's playing out as part of this narrative. And what happens is Jake Gyllenhaal is out with his wife. The character in the book is out with his wife and daughter, and they're going along this road, and they get run off the road by Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Okay.
And two of his friends.
Has he worked out how to smoke yet?
Not yet. No. Anyway, they abduct and grape his wife and daughter. And then Michael Shannon is the cop on the case.
Yeah.
Michael Shannon's character has got lung cancer, and he's not long for this world. And it's like, the law has failed us on this one, but I'm gonna get you justice.
Yeah.
And it turns out
kind of a last hurrah,
exactly
unforgiven kind of thing.
And it turns out to the Jake Gyllenhaal as the writer. His name's Edward Sheffield, actually.
Okay.
He is playing out how he dealt with his wife leaving him, and also schmorting their child. Wow. So that was a great film, and that's another one that I've watched a few times.
Sounds good. What was
Nocturnal Animals?
Nocturnal Animals.
Tom Ford.
Maybe that's the next one.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the next one. Yeah. So it's Garfield's in it, but not really. Besides him, thanks, man. Not really a massive sort of cast, is it? Not sort of big names. That always kind of dings a bit of a bell for me. And I've actually kind of got to the point now. I think I see these ensemble casts. What are you kind of covering?
It's a bit of a red flag.
What are you covering up? Are you just like it's crap with lots of stars in? So that'll be all right. Just shove Brad Pitt and George Clooney and everybody in it. And like, so we'll come up with something. They'll come up with something. All those guys can't make a duffer. So. Yeah, but like
you'll recognise some faces. There's some character actors in it that you'll recognise, like the guy who writes the zine.
Yeah.
I recognised the guy in the shack as one of the bad guys from Dexter.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's some faces that you'll recognise.
But
Sydney Sweeney, for example.
Sydney Sweeney, but I think even that is like it's kind of a cool touch. I think that's maybe intentional. Like these are all kind of jobbing actors. They're having to do stuff. They're not sort of colossal. They're trying to make it.
Exactly.
Everybody's trying to sort of make it in the Hollywood scene.
There is a subplot where there's like a group of actresses that are making films, that have been in TV.
Sydney being one of them.
One of them, but are working as escorts.
Yeah.
So, and like, I think there's one point where one of them says like, she's kind of astounded that he would think that because she's been in the business like of Hollywood that she's like got money. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, which is like again like another callback to like to what the like the dirty side of it.
Yeah.
Like sort of the dark underbelly to it all.
Well, I think it would detract.
Mulholland Drivey a little bit. I
Yeah.
got from that big Mulholland vibes. Drive.
Yeah. Again, Lynchian. But
Lynchian.
I think it would detract from the film to have Brad Pitt in it. Or,
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the same film.
No. I think Andrew Garfield, at his, like you said, at his level of notoriety and fame, let's say, was a perfect lead.
Yeah.
I think Robert Pattinson could have done the job.
He's almost like yes, he could. Yeah. He was almost like kind of like maybe at that time, maybe a Tom Hardy, maybe
even Tom Hardy.
At that time. But like, there's something about the way that he's almost like kind of an anti-lead.
Yeah.
He's the lead in is the character that stands in the place where the lead should stand. But he's skinny and he's scroty and he's dirty. He smells. He's a scruff. His
not
apartment
virtuous.
is not at all. There is nothing really redeemable about him. And having watched one of the Second Story, great channel by the way.
Shout
yes, Second Story, Hillary Lane, about anti-heroes. And like, every film's an anti-hero at the minute. Like, you can't write heroes anymore. But like, they're all, even the anti-heroes are a little bit lame and a bit old hat. This is a proper, true anti-hero in the sense that he stands in the place of where the hero would stand. And I'll use Twin Peaks as the reference point here, as the baseline. You picture Kyle MacLachlan, man, that jaw. Not in a weird way. I'm not being weird about it, but like he's dark. He's the epitome of a tall, dark, handsome stranger, right? Like chiseled, like set well, you know. And it was Bill Pullman in Lost Highway.
Yes,
similar kind of vibe, you know. He's fairly well stacked. He's well chiseled. He looks like this is like the absolute antithesis of that.
Yeah.
He's skinny and scroty and scruffy.
Malnourished.
Yeah. Eats crap. You know, he's always drinking rubbish. You
know, that's a great call, because you know, like Hillary was saying, like people want to call like Batman and the Punisher like anti-heroes. Well, it's like, I mean, actually, what they're doing is pretty heroic shit. It's virtuous stuff.
They're
right?
just doing what others might not have the balls to do, or the circumstances to do.
And it's just hacky to call that an anti-hero. But like you said, it's a great take. He's an anti-hero.
Yeah.
He's the protagonist of the story.
Yeah.
But he's not virtuous. He's not brave. He's not courageous.
No.
He's just kind of slimy. A little bit slimy.
And the only one who's kind of a little bit like has kind of got any sort of traditional hero look about him is the actor who's gone hiding up in the hills.
That's right. Shack. Yeah. I can't remember his name. Something Sevens.
Yeah.
Something Sevens.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But he's like the only one who's kind of got that kind of look about him as like a Hollywood hero type. And he's had enough, and he's off to, you know, literally to ascend. Like literally running for the hills. But yeah, man, just a very. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Same. It's one of those films that you really will think about a lot afterwards.
Yeah.
Kind of lives rent free for a little bit.
Yeah. And there were bits in there. I don't know if you ever watched. Nick Vinding Refn did a series. And it's the name of it is literally just dropped out of my mind. But again, that was about sort of the dark side of Hollywood. It was after he'd done The Neon Demon, and it'll come back to me the name of the series. But again, that was kind of very similar, like these weird sort of dark subplots.
Yeah, I don't know.
That kind of intersect. I'll have to dig it out and maybe watch a couple more again, and maybe we could watch a few.
Yeah, but now that you bring that up. Neon Demon does have a similar vibe.
Yeah,
it's obviously the modelling scene.
Yeah,
but it's all interconnected. Yeah, just shallow, vapid, surface level kind of shit. And
who are you doing?
Yeah,
what are you wearing? Who's doing your pictures? Who's doing your photos?
And how quickly dark that gets.
And there's levels to it. You know, like a Lovecraft thing like that.
Yeah,
it kind of steps down. It's like it goes down a level and it's worse. It goes down another level and it's worse. I kind of got some of the vibes from that as well. It's really bugging me the name of that series, but it will come back to me. but yeah, there was definitely some not necessarily mirroring, but like that there were bits in that I picked up on from like the shallowness and the way that the film had been put together, similar to Neon Demon. There wasn't really kind of an ending to that. There's no depth to the characters in Neon Demon. They're all very shallow and surface level because that's what they are. There is no sort of depth to them. So yeah, I think that's maybe another one that we can pick up.
And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm making connections. Second story is Hillary Lane, right? That's her name, Hillary. She just put out a video on Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite novels. I love it, and I know that it's a little bit divisive. Like some people don't really like it, but now that I think about it, very similar vibe. Like the premise is that this guy he's flunking his classes and he gets kicked out of his prep school, and it's just about him kind of drifting around New York until he has to go home, and he's just kind of drifting from one interaction to another. There's kind of like some shallow sexual kind of link ups, and it's a similar vibe, and but it's mostly in his head, him critiquing disingenuousness, and stuff like that,
like phoniness.
Yeah, that's the main word. Yeah, phony.
Phoniness, yeah. Great big phony.
Yeah, you're a phony.
In the 50s.
Yeah, exactly. I read this as a younger man. It must have been over 10 years since I last read it. People often say that they related to Holden Caulfield as a younger person, and then later in life they read it back and they think what a whiny. Yeah, I would be interested because it's not a long book.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, J.D. Salinger wrote another book called Fran and Zoe.
Yeah.
And a main theme, believe it or not, in Fran and Zoe is the Jesus Prayer.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that's not one I've not read yet.
Yeah.
But I know that it's one of the it's kind of like a recurring theme in the book. So
yeah.
Probably worth a read.
Interesting. Yeah, no, that's cool, man. Yeah, that's so good. So, so that was A24, Under the Silver Lake.
Yeah.
Next shot then, so we're going to go for Nocturnal.
We could go for Nocturnal Animals.
Nocturnal Animals.
Also, one that I don't know what you think, but I would like to give Moses the Black a watch.
Yeah.
By Yelena Popovich.
Okay.
So it looks like it's kind of a crime drama. I think Father Turbo.
Okay.
Is in it.
Yeah.
But it's like a mainly black cast. I think like Wiz Khalifa's in it. I think 50 Cent kind of endorsed it.
No way.
But the main theme is kind of like
half a quid.
Yeah. This guy is kind of like a troubled ex-con, and he starts to notice that his life is kind of mirroring Saint Moses the Black's kind of. Yeah, and that's like a main theme in it. So
that sounds pretty.
So that sounds interesting too.
But it kind of drew on me a little bit. Listen to some of to some of Hillary's stuff, but also like on some of the reading, but also you can't help but really notice like just the general kind of malaise of writing in a lot of sort of, this is going to sound very, very boomerish, but like in a lot of sort of modern stuff, like we've kind of forgotten how to write stories that really grip. And I took the kids yesterday to go and see the Mario film, and it was fine. It was okay. There wasn't really any. It was a little bit messagey, but not massively. I mean, I just can't imagine sort of Japanese audiences buying into that at all. So, that was just a lot of kind of like member berries. There was like a lot of like, all of a sudden Star Fox appears. All of a sudden, it's the guy from it's the guys from Isla Delfino. Like we just keep chucking this stuff in, like that'll make us a movie.
Remember this?
Like that was good. And they do it with the music, and it's all perfectly. Like I was saying, especially for Mario, and it's his film, and yet it's not really. I don't think he really does anything as such. There's a little bit of the thing with him in the first film where he's kind of he finds himself in this situation and he's trying to sort of sort it out, and he doesn't really kind of really get it to start with. He needs the princess to show him how to do it, to be a hero, but he kind of goes away and he becomes the hero in the end. He gets the suit, the star, and he beats Bowser and all the rest of it. So the question is, well, how do you move on from that? And the games kind of move on from that. If you think about it, the first Mario game and the second Mario game, I mean, I'm ignoring the fact that it was different in Japan because it was just a lost level. They just did another Mario game, right? But in the West, how did they move on from that? The second game was completely different.
Yeah.
And by which I mean, it was never intended to be a Mario game.
No, I think it was originally called Doki Doki Panic.
Right.
You know, you like throwing the vegetables.
That's right.
It was a weird game.
It was weird.
A very weird game.
And at the end, again, spoiler, I'm sure like people will play Mario 2 now, right? But at the end, it's Mario dreaming.
Yeah.
It's having it's kind of this weird dreamy thing.
And it did have that vibe. It had that weird dream vibe.
Yes, it did. It did. But that's how they sequelized, for want of a better word, because that's not a word. That's how they kind of
canonized.
Yeah. That's how that's where the story went after the first Mario game. And they didn't really do that with this. They just didn't really know how to move on from the first one. It's like, oh, okay, well, we'll do a thing with Rosalina and it's her sister, and like there's bits from Galaxy, and there's bits from 2, and there's bits from Sunshine, and there's bits from all over the place. There's bits from Wonder, and all these kind of things that they've drawn on from the canon, but they're just kind of pointing at the canon. They're not really kind of writing the canon, not really kind of writing their own canon. There's an opportunity to kind of move the story on a little bit. Yoshi's in it, but he's barely in it, and he doesn't really do anything. He just makes loads of stuff, So there's nothing like that on the Boos or kind of thing like Luigi's Mansion, all these kind of things, all these directions that they could have taken.
Luigi's Mansion is ripe for it.
It's a banger.
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah.
And all these games have kind of got the simplified stories because the game's for kids. But there's a kind of a bit of a story and a plot, and you've got to kind of get somewhere, and bits of it get harder and bits get easier. But there was nothing really about that in the film. There was no kind of progression for Mario always kind of becoming. And this sounds really like pretentious a little bit, given that this is a kids' film.
Yeah.
But I was thinking that, and again, it's a boomer take. But maybe I'm just turning into a boomer now. But and I think it's like some of the kids' films that we'd have watched when we were younger. Like for me, it was like back end of the '80s kids' films, Goonies, like Never Ending Story, Labyrinth, Dark Crystal. These all had quite clearly defined, quite dark plots to a lot of them. They were dealing with some quite dark stuff, like Goonies. They've got guys who've got whacked. There's bodies in the freezer next to the ice cream that Chunk wants to go and get at. He's crying because he can't get the ice cream. But like there are plots to it and there's stories to it, and it's been written really well for kids to get. So they might not get all of it, but they'll be entertained. But there's a bit of a story to it. I think that's gone.
Yeah,
I think that's gone.
Definitely. I mean, I always say. I mean, one film that came to my mind from my childhood then was Hook. Do you remember
Hook? Yeah,
great film. Like about
it's a development.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Peter Pan's been closed out.
Yeah. He's forgotten about it.
Right. So how do you move on from that?
Yeah.
Man, that was great.
But I always say the last epic adventure film was The Mummy Returns.
They were good films. Those first two were great.
The Mummy, and then The Mummy Returns. Great films. Great films.
Yeah.
And then the third one was kind of trash.
Pants, yeah. Do you smell what the Scorpion King is cooking?
But you've got this great development because Brendan Fraser, Rick O'Connell is this kind of ne'er-do-well, bit of a
rogue.
Yeah, and he kind of, and then by the second film, he's a family man.
Yeah,
he's married. He loves his wife. He loves his son.
You're driving mental.
Yeah. But he's out, and the stakes are higher now because it's his son.
Yeah.
And he's out there fighting for us. And there's this bit where Alex, the son, tells him, "My dad is going to kick your ass." It's like, that is fire. That's fire. That's real family values.
It is.
My dad's a tough guy, and he's going to kick your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, it was good and relatable. It's all very relatable, and man, they were great films.
They really were. The action was top level.
It was.
They were funny.
Yeah.
John Hannah was very funny.
John Hannah was good. Yeah.
Ardeth Bay
Yeah,
was great.
Yeah.
And Brendan Fraser was great. And to give a credit, Rachel Weisz was great
Holds
as well.
up, yeah.
Definitely holds up.
Holds up.
She's been holding up.
Who plays Imhotep?
Arnold Vosloo, German guy.
See, this
Yeah,
guy.
I'm a mummy historian.
But was a good antagonist.
Yeah,
and had a kind of a bit of.
He had presence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some story.
Yeah,
he wasn't just doing it just to be like an arsehole.
Yeah.
Right? Just because.
And it was a fairly simple story.
Yeah, it was.
And yet it was powerful enough to drive.
Hold your attention.
Yeah, and to give him believable motivation.
Yeah.
And Axon.
And there, yeah, okay, it's a 3-act film. Things kind of happen, and then something goes wrong, and it has to be resolved, and then has he really resolved it? But it kind of worked, and yeah, I just think like that level of storytelling. That's really the phrase for me, is the storytelling. It's kind of gone.
Yeah, and you know what popped into my head? Like another thing that I think Hilary Lane was talking about is like how now we've always got to empathise with the villain.
Yeah,
they've always got some reason.
Yeah.
Now
we'd all do it in the same circumstances.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now you know how the Mummy did this very well. In the final act of Mummy Returns, there's a situation where both Imhotep and Rick are about to fall into the abyss. And Axanamun runs away and doesn't help him, but Evie stays to pull him, and we see in his face the pain in his face that it's all been for nothing, and he just casts himself into the abyss. And there's a moment where you think, even though he was the bad guy for these 2 films, I feel bad for him now. But we don't have to spend a whole narrative kind of like
he was right to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man, that's a great shout. And and that's, again, coming back to some of those other films that I mentioned about, like the Fratellis, like the brothers that are falling out, and the Goonies, like the brothers that are falling out, and Sloth, who's kind of like the like the black sheep of the family because he's all disfigured, but he's massive. He's played by I want to say John Matuszak. Was he I'm probably completely wrong, but he was an American football player. He was a gridiron player, and he was massive.
Yeah,
right? And he was a proper monster on the pitch as well, apparently. But he kind of turns good in the end. Like he's not been treated very nicely. There's kind of falling out with the brothers, and the mother like favors one over the other. And like there's all kind of little bits of subplot and interest, even in the bad guys. You don't sympathise with them necessarily.
No.
But there's enough about them to kind of like to hold your attention a little bit, to keep the story pushing on. Yeah, it was and like when you look at like Labyrinth, you've got Bowie, and
right.
I mean, it's all a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a little bit suspect of him.
Well, there's that, but also like with Jennifer Connelly, who like she was very young in that, like very young, and there's kind of this whole romance thing, and that was kind of a bit weird and dark.
Yeah.
But that there was this whole sort of relationship between her, like him being the antagonist, but also kind of like the object of her desire a little bit. It was kind of it was weird. And then the stuff in the Dark Crystal, man, that's some dark stuff that we're in there about the Skeksis and the
Was that the Jim Henson one?
Yeah. So like these were wrestling with some quite dark themes, some quite deep themes at times. Like they used to give kids a bit more credit.
Definitely, yeah.
It wasn't just all about keep them entertained, keep them entertained, keep them entertained. That's the other thing with the Mario film. It just never stops. It's just like constant attention grabbing stuff. Constant like high tempo. It was like a J.J. Abrams film. It never stops, never pauses for breath. It's like, and I think that's kind of intentional in the sense that if you don't stop, like you'll not think about the lack of story.
Yeah, and I think that when the first Mario film came out, we all wanted to congratulate it because it was a pretty straightforward hero story with no message. But I think that we were just so starved for anything that wasn't essentially propaganda.
It was a low bar.
Yeah, exactly. It was a low bar that we but yeah.
But they couldn't really dine out on it twice.
No.
And they knew they couldn't dine out on it twice. So what do? So the answer is they didn't really know.
No.
So it wasn't terrible. It wasn't horrendous. It wasn't. It was, it was well worth taking them. They loved it. They loved it. But yeah, it was just kind of indicative of the kind of like the lack of, thanks man. It's kind of indicative of the lack of ability in storytelling, I think. And there's something else about that you come across not that long ago about writing heroes.
Mm.
You know, that the hero character has got to be virtuous
Mm.
and moral and able to to be sort of courageous. You know, they can have flaws. You know, they can have character flaws, but they can still be heroic. Sometimes they're heroic because they've got flaws and they overcome it. You know, and work their way around it. Like, you know, Superman got his kryptonite. You know, he's got. You know, that there are. You know, if you want to use kind of the Batman or the Punisher, things like that, they're intentionally flawed. Like Frank Castle's absolutely tormented about what had happened to his family. He's got PTSD. Done some questionable things, possibly over in Nam. You know, in the name of being, you know, Uncle Sam's man.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, the same with Batman. Like he's just kind of like frozen in time.
Yeah.
As a child, watching, you know, what happened to his parents, and he's just acting it out. He's just acting out his rage again and again and again.
But they're still the heroes.
Yeah.
We still want them to be victorious at the end of it. We want him to beat Joker because we know that Joker's the bad guy. Like we want him to beat Kingpin or Jigsaw because we know that they're the bad guys. They've done bad things, and there's a kind of a payoff at the end. Even though for all their flaws and all their weaknesses, they're the heroic kind of characters. Don't see that much now.
No.
Don't see that much. You know, but I guess if you haven't got a frame of reference, what does a hero look like? What is a hero? Hard. I could point like loads of older films. Lord of the Rings being a perfect example.
Exactly.
Like a great example of of Aragorn and really Frodo as well. You know, Sam.
Yeah.
You know, these have all got limitations. Flaws is maybe the too strong a word. Limitations to their character. They can't be everything. Because if they are, there'd be a Mary Sue or a Mark Steve or whatever the male equivalent is. But like they'd be invincible, and you can't relate to an invincible character either.
No,
it's boring. You know, but they succeed, and you want them to succeed, and we relate to them. And that again, you don't really see that in kind of later, sort of like really kind of last 10 years maybe.
Yeah.
Worth of sort of filmmaking and, you know, even sort of TV stuff. I couldn't point to a character that like is a really not archetype. Well, yeah, I guess a little bit archetypal hero kind of character out of really sort of recent films.
No,
I couldn't point to one. So it's it's a weird one. So yeah, Mario, it was fine. It was okay, but like we watched the first one a couple of times. I can't see us watching this one again.
No,
I think they'll put this it might be that like this was the Back to the Future 2 of the trilogy, because that was kind of, although even that had kind of its own sort of bits to it.
Yeah,
you know, they went to the future but they kind of called back a lot on the first film, but they still had kind of enough of, you know, little bits of its own. But 3 was better.
Yeah, 3 was great. Yeah,
yeah. McFly.
Yeah.
But I don't tell you never come in here.
Yeah, 3 was good.
Nikki, what kind of moccasins is them?
But yeah, I'm not excited about any contemporary writers. The one exception I'll make maybe is Murakami.
Yeah.
But apart from that, if I'm going to read anything, I'm going back.
Yeah.
I'm reading Dostoevsky, McCarthy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm reading some of the classics.
Yeah.
If I'm going to read.
And even on that, so like looking at, so if we're talking about anti-heroes, you look at the kid. Again, sort of stands in the place of where the hero should stand.
Yeah.
He's a really well-written anti-hero.
Yeah.
Who sort of succeeds, but then doesn't at the end.
Yeah.
Doesn't at the very end. He has to pay the piper at the end. But it's like it's a very well-written anti-hero. And there are bits of sort of heroic characters like the priest.
Yeah.
And other bits in the, you know, other sort of smaller minor characters in the book who do sort of heroic things, but they're all kind of doing quite bad. Quite the mission itself is a bad mission, is a bad thing. But then like the alternative is doing what the other guys are doing, which is even worse.
Yeah, exactly. No, McCarthy's great at like to call back to Under the Silver Lake. He's great at writing fringe society dropout kind of characters,
Yeah,
like the kid or Child of God or Suttree
yeah.
or Outer Dark, things like that.
Even the guy from Josh Brolin in the film.
Oh yeah, No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, his character Llewellyn.
Llewellyn, that's it. Yeah,
who's not a dropout as such, but also like he's a bit of a rogue.
yeah.
Right.
And his villains are like forces of nature.
They're pure,
like Anton Sugar,
pure darkness.
Or the Judge.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, he even says like, "Oh, he's not a, he's a force of nature."
Yeah,
yeah. That's what Woody Harrelson says. Like, I've not read the book, but
yeah.
And it's sort of not impassive, but like detached. That they just are.
Yeah.
There's no sort of real rhyme or reason to them. They just exist.
Mm.
The existence itself of them of these characters is evil, is darkness.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't think they'll ever properly make at least a faithful. I can't see them doing it.
No.
A film of
Blood Meridian.
No. But a great book.
Yeah.
A great book. And again, it comes back to a little bit. To call back a little bit on Hillary as well, who's getting me hooked on identifying quality prose, not just on what is written, but how it's written and how it's read.
Yeah,
because it's a medium which requires it's a two-way street. This isn't like a film where it can be sort of watched in the background. You have to kind of to really appreciate and get into a book, particularly a novel. Like you have to really engage with it. You have to. It's an active activity, right? You have to. You're making notes, or you're kind of making mental notes, and there is a part of you that has to invest something in getting something out of the book, and that to do that is it's critical that prose has got to flow. So there's a beauty, like even just the art form itself, the formation of a paragraph, the formation of a sentence, the flow of the wording, the way in which a character speaks through the prose. That's just as important as writing good characters, doing story arcs, doing it's part of the art. Like a film is like you've got the art, like pulling out maybe Kubrick. You've got every aspect of filmmaking, got the story, amazing eye, right? Every shot beautiful, could be a piece of art. Every cell, every frame is beautifully shot. The lighting, the soundtrack. It could be a composer, right? He works with composers, worked with Ligeti, worked with Wendy Carlos. Worked with all these kind of out there fringe composers. That's kind of the art form. Like with the novel writer, it's like you've got character arcs, you've got story, you've got plots, you've got subplots, you've got heroes, antagonists, anti-heroes, antagonists. You've got but you've also got the prose itself. How are you writing? How are you getting your message to your readers? Have you got them in mind? How are they going to read it and appreciate it? And I don't think I've ever read a book as uniquely written. The prose is uniquely written as Blood Meridian.
Yeah.
The prose is just. I mean, lush is the wrong word.
I mean, it's sparse.
But it's rich.
It's sparse, but it's dense.
Sparse. Yeah.
It's dense. Yeah.
It's laconic.
Yeah.
Like his characters. Say everything with saying, like a grunt and a nod or a spit.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, that's an exceptional novel, Blood Meridian. Yeah. And
you're right, man. These are all of a time now.
Yeah, exactly.
So where does that next lot come about? Where's the next Blood Meridian coming from?
Exactly.
Where's the next Idiot or Brothers Karamazov or Crime and Punishment coming from? Will it come again?
I think it must. It has to.
Maybe. But where does it come from? That's another question.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a bit philosophical
I
there.
know, yeah. Yeah, we got...
We really got
It
into
took a turn.
We did. So, so we're good. So Sam the True Hero, we can all relate to him. Can't believe you managed to create a 10-minute critique on Mario. I know. I don't know where I went off. Where I went off with that. Just trying to you can see where my thoughts are going from at the minute. But yeah, it was okay. It was okay. I think it's nice to see a negative to kind of reinforce the positive.
Exactly, yeah.
Sometimes. So next time, then we'll get a review on of
Nocturnal Animals.
We'll get some time in on that. We'll do that. We've got some blends. I wanted to have a quick chat about. We've got Buff tonight, but I think we'll top it off with a bit of Templeton. I've got some Templeton 6-year rye that we had over Pasca. We had a little nip. We'll have a bit more of a nip this time. Maybe we could. What we didn't get round to doing was the Partagas. Why don't we do that for next time?
Yeah, because we visited the cigar lounge.
We went to the cigar lounge.
We also had a
cracking evening.
A couple of Foundation Axums as well.
Oh, man, they were great. So maybe we could do a quick run over those 2 sticks.
Yeah.
And the Templeton, and we'll pull something and Nocturnal Animals, and we'll pull something together for next time.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for being
here. Thanks for listening and sticking with us for our ramble. But yeah, it was really good. Hope you enjoyed it, and we really did. And we're going to suck what's left of this bottle and have some more coffee and smoke the rest.